We mark today a significant milestone for Philippine education as we have signed the Kabalikat sa Pagtuturo Act. Since the start of my term, I have placed great emphasis on the need to bolster our educational system and the urgency with which this should be done. As an oft-mentioned adage of our elders, to which as a father I too also subscribe, education is the only inheritance that we can leave our children that can never be taken away from them. Our Vice President and Secretary of Education and the women and men of the Department of Education have laid down the building blocks of a modern and responsive educational system. Through the Matatag agenda, we are addressing the challenges to basic education. We are decongesting the basic education curriculum with a focus on foundational skills such as numeracy and literacy. We are building more classrooms and providing learning materials and internet connections, especially in geographically isolated and disadvantaged areas. We pursue the school-based feeding program, fostering safe spaces for learning, and implementing other programs aimed at supporting learners' welfare. Today, thanks to the hard work of our legislators, we get to receive the much-needed assistance for the Matatag agenda and the fourth component of that. That is, to give support to teachers so they can concentrate on teaching. I think we are all familiar with the situation where when a teacher finds themselves in financial straits, then sometimes they are distracted and spend their time trying to increase the support that they can provide their families, and to the detriment of the actual teaching. But teachers teach because it is a vocation. It is not a job. It is a vocation. Teachers teach because they feel they have to teach and they want to teach. And that's why we must give them the support so that they are allowed to do precisely that. The Kabalikat sa Pagtuturo Act comes as a welcome support to the advancement of the Matatag agenda. Teachers are the unsung heroes of our society, of any society for that matter. They toil and burn the midnight oil. They teach our children not for money, nor for prestige. They serve our country each day by teaching our children the basic foundations to make them responsible and productive citizens. It is our responsibility as a government and as a society to take care of them. Indeed, this new law institutionalizes the provision of an annual teaching allowance and gradually increases it from the current 5,000 pesos to 10,000 pesos, which will not be subjected to income tax. And while it might seem inconsequential to those who are already used to having a steady supply of basic materials for work, this amount makes an enormous difference for our beloved teachers and for the students. For decades, they have willingly taken on the burden of having to spend their own money on classroom supplies to aid them in teaching. They embrace this wholeheartedly as their responsibility, as part of their duty as teachers, as part of their vocation. It must take an incredible amount of love to sacrifice what little you have for the sake of your students, despite having financial worries of your own. With the passage of this law, we are easing some of the burden that you carry each day. So at this point, I'd like to convey my gratitude to our colleagues in the House of Representatives and of the Senate for pursuing this long overdue increase. We have listened, we have persevered, and now we have taken action.